Hi there, and thank you for tuning in to The Social Circus, where every week we dive into a variety of topics covering social media, mindset, and how to run your business. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode.
Hello, my lovely listeners, and welcome to episode 151 of The Social Circus. My name is Sarah Thompson, and I'm your host each and every week. Now, if you're just tuning in, I want to give you a little heads up. Today is the second part of a two-part episode on why you are struggling to get the sales you deserve in your business. So if you haven't listened to episode 150, please go back and listen to that before you listen to today's episode, because I'm sharing my top 10 reasons, which are mostly to do with mindset, about why you are not getting the sales you deserve in your business. So if you haven't listened, pause me now, go back and listen to episode 150, and then I'm going to dive in now and look at why you are not getting the sales you deserve. So as I mentioned last week, I gave you 5 reasons, and I'll just give you a little update on what those were. The first one is that you are hiding your brilliance instead of celebrating it. The second one is that you are mentioning your offer only once and thinking that's enough. The third reason is that you are talking about yourself and not about your dream client or your dream customer. The fourth reason is that your sales page is letting you down. And the final reason I gave last week is that you're worried about being nice instead of being powerful. Now, last week, what I did was I talked about each one of those reasons and I gave you a mindset shift. And I'm going to do the same again today. So please, if you're interested in what those mindset shifts are, because you'd like to dive a little bit deeper into them, please go and visit the show notes on my website, because I'm going to share all of those with you so that you can kind of have a look at those and see what's going on inside your head, because the episodes last week and today are really about you doing a little bit of reflection. It is not about talking why selling is hard at the moment. If you're interested in that, please go and listen to episode 147, where I talked about the silence between sales and why selling right now in this economic climate is quite hard. So if you want to hear about that, go to episode 147. But today we're going to be focusing on some of the reasons why you're not selling. Okay, so let's start with number 6. And this is a really interesting one. And it is really hard when you are new in business, because the reason you're not getting the sales you deserve is because you gave up too soon. Now, I'm sure we've all seen a little meme of someone who's digging in a tunnel and they're like a miner and they've given up because they've dug so far and they're like literally just millimeters away from finding all the diamonds in a diamond mine. And this is often what happens in business, is that we give up because it's hard. Now, I want to just say this. If running a business was easy, everybody would do it. Okay. So here's the truth about sales, about many things, is the breakthrough happens after the this isn't working moment, when we're kind of ready to give up and we're like, I'll just send one more email. I'll just do one more thing. And this is really, really common. I actually had a discovery call a few weeks ago with a lady who had launched a new type of mastermind in her business. And I was speaking to her on the last day of launch. Now, when I spoke to her, the cart was closing the following day and she had not had a single person come through. And in the call that we had, I kind of talked her off a ledge, because she's like, I feel like giving up. It's a failed launch. I don't want to do anything. Nobody's coming in. And she said to me it was only going to be an intimate mastermind of 5 to 10 women, and that she would go ahead if she only got 4 or 5. And I felt so disheartened for her, because I knew that she had done all of the things. She had a beautiful sales page. She'd shown up on her socials. She had really been visible and present and exploring what this mastermind looked like. And I said to her, just keep going. Just put out your email, send all your DMs, do all of those things that you're going to do as part of your launch, and keep going. Now, we were speaking on the Friday and the last day of her launch was on a Saturday, which, by the way, I wouldn't advocate. I'd always do cart close on a weekday. It's too much work on a weekend. Anyway, I sent her a message and I said, how did it go? And I was so anxious for her, because I thought, oh, if she had no sales, then we'll have to talk about why that was and what could she do differently and what could she learn and take away from that. And she messaged me, like I think it was on the Monday, and said 4 people joined. Okay. So on the Friday, having done a 10-day launch runway and had not a single soul sign up, not a single soul. On the last day when she was about to pull the pin, she had 4 women join. Now, this is a 12-month program. It's a big investment. And she could have given up. And if she had given up, the coaching that we would have done together would have been focused on kind of debriefing the launch, pulling everything apart and picking apart why didn't it work, why didn't it land, what did we do wrong, and what can we learn. That's what we do a lot in coaching. But what we did was she just stayed the course for one more day. Okay. And that then allowed her to see that success. And now she's over the moon. It's gone. Like she didn't get to 10, but she was happy with 4 because, like she said, she can run it. There's going to be an intimate group. But this was the first time she had launched this completely new mastermind concept. And if she had given up, and here's the truth, I doubt she would have launched it again because she would have felt like such a failure is a huge mindset hurdle to step through a failure and try again. So I want you to think about how does this land for you and how does it feel in your business? And here's your mindset shift. Quiet seasons are not a no, they are an invitation to hold the vision longer than the doubt. Okay. I really want you to think about that because um, I do want to just say this. And if my friend Jenny is listening, shout out to her because she was the one who told me this. She called me out and said that why do I struggle with people calling me successful? And why do I always be really self-deprecating when people say that? And I said, the reason is because I do so many things that fail. And she kind of flipped it around and said, well, the definition of success is going from one failure to the next without a loss of momentum. Because eventually you do succeed and I have a successful business. But I know that I try lots of things that don't work how I think they should. And all I do is go, right, what can I learn from this? How can I re-engineer this? How can we see what didn't go well and how can we do it better? And to be fair, having worked in marketing, we are innately wired to understand testing and to have a lot of confidence that if we're trying something, we're testing it. It doesn't mean I've done it and it's failed. Okay. So be really clear on that and thinking about can you hold your vision longer than you can hold the doubt? And I really want you to ask yourself that. All right. Now, another reason that you might not be getting the sales you deserve, and this is more about a selling strategy rather than a mindset strategy, is that you are missing what we call those urgency triggers. Now, what I mean by that is we need to make people want to buy from us now. Okay. So these can be things like deadlines, bonuses, fast action incentives that help people make the decisions that they already want to make. And this is often why we do a launch because we say you can buy now. And if you buy in the next 7 days and the next 10 days, it'll be this price, you'll get this bonus, blah, blah, blah. Those are very much tried and tested strategies that we know will work in our business. My question to you is, are you using these strategies in your business or are you just putting things out there all the time and going, come coach with me. Here's the things. There's no reason. You're not giving people a reason to want to coach with you. And the urgency triggers are usually around like bonuses, incentives, discounts, things like that. But you can create urgency with other things. So um, I've got a friend who's a really successful business coach, and she puts out offers all the time that says, I currently have space for 2 new clients to work with me one-on-one. And I know she's a very busy coach, and I know that to be true and authentic. But what she has done is she has said, grab this spot now because there won't be another spot opening up for 3 months. So she is creating urgency. And can I just say, please do this out of authenticity. I really dislike it when you hear people saying, oh, it's a marketing strategy. You tell them there's 10 places and then an hour later you say 2 are sold. I don't like that kind of strategy. It feels really icky to me. I understand it as a selling strategy, but it doesn't feel very authentic and it doesn't feel very genuine. So keep in mind if you are creating urgency to have some honesty and integrity around it. Like I said, my friend who's a coach, when she says that she has 2 spots and then she has 1 spot, she genuinely means that. That's all she's got capacity for. So keep that in mind and think about, are you doing this with people? Are you saying, I've got limited availability, I've got this? Or are you just saying, come and work with me? And people are like, well, I can just go and work with her anytime. There's no rush. The other thing you want to do is with urgency triggers, talk to your audience about what is the opportunity cost of them not working with you or not buying from you. So say I'm a product-based business and I want someone to buy something. If they don't buy it, what will it mean for them? Okay. And if you don't understand that, you need to deep dive into your marketing fundamentals to understand what does that process look like for your audience. So remember, The mindset shift is creating urgency is an act of kindness. It helps people stop overthinking and start stepping into change. And that's what we want. All right, number 8. And this is a big one because I'm certain this is going to land for quite a few of you. You secretly believe selling is scammy or gross or gives you the ick. Okay. If you see selling as bad, it leaks out in your energy and your messaging. Now, whether or not you believe in energy and you believe in that kind of thing, it doesn't really matter. It will come through because it will come through in your trepidation and reservation that you apply to things. You'll be like, hey, I've got this thing to sell over here. There it is. Rather than going, hey, oh my gosh, I'm so excited I've created this for you. The different energy that you apply to it, if you have a mindset problem with the actual selling because you feel like it's scammy, you feel like it's annoying, you feel like it's pushy, all of those things that we tell ourselves. And I just want to say, this is wrapped up in number 1, hiding your brilliance, and number 5, worried about being nice. Okay, so if you are a believer that selling or sales is scammy or gross, you are going to be stuck in this space for a long time because running a business relies on you selling. That is all there is to it. If you are not selling, you're running a charity. And having worked in a not for profit, I will just say we used to sell, but our selling was asking for donations. Okay. So, whatever you're doing, unless you are completely giving away your time for free, you are going to have to sell and you're going to have to learn how to sell and step through that. So, what I want you to think about is what is your issue with this? Has someone told you that? I've had people tell me, I send too many emails or I do this or I do that. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. I've worked up to a point in my business where I'm comfortable doing marketing the way I do it and it feels okay because I'm reminding myself people are busy and distracted. And if I only tell them about an offer once, remember number 2, if I only tell them about an offer once, I am not giving them enough opportunity to buy. So if you do secretly believe that selling is scammy or gross or insert another word in there, I want you to think about this mindset shift. Selling is offering a solution, not pushing a problem. It's an invitation, not an imposition. And I really want you to reflect on that and think about how does that feel for you and what comes up when you think that. I will just say again, all of these mindset prompts are going to be in the show notes. I would encourage you to go look at them. If you like doing journaling, journaling is a great way to uncover what's going on inside your head. Write that down and then write down all the things that you think. Just going, oh, I hate it. My mum used to always say used car salesman. That reminds her of that and it's awful. And people who do that are awful. And all of the reasons that come up, because if you don't work through these mindset blocks, you are going to be really held back in your business. And none of us wants that. We want to have successful businesses. We want to share our brilliance with the world. Remember, that's what number 1 is, sharing our brilliance. Number 4, and this is a fun one, okay? So I want you to think about, you say you don't like marketing, but secretly you would like to be seen. So here's the thing. When we say we don't like marketing, it is often a fear of visibility that is hiding within that. So I don't want to have to put myself out there. I don't want to have to talk on a video. I don't want to have to show up and send messages to people and answer their questions. I just want to, what I'm doing right now is sitting in my 4th bedroom, my home, that is my office, sitting behind my computer and not having to actually go out and make connections and be seen and be visible. Okay. Now, if this is how you feel and you don't like marketing, I want to say this to you really bluntly. If you do not like marketing and you do not like selling, you are going to genuinely struggle to run a business because a huge part of what we do is marketing, which results in sales. Okay. Those actions are very much intertwined with each other and take up a huge part of what it is that we do. So if this is hard for you, running a business is going to be hard and is going to continue to be hard. And that's not why we started our business. We started our business to do things that we love and that bring us joy. And quite often it's around a skill that we have. So for me, it happens to be marketing because that's what I've always worked in. But I love marketing and I love talking about marketing. And I love sharing my marketing wisdom with the world, which I get to do on this podcast. So I want you to think about what is going on when you say you don't like marketing. It could be something as simple as, I'm exhausted from how much effort it takes. That is completely different to saying you don't like it. That's okay. Okay. Social media and creating content is exhausting and relentless, and it is a hungry monster that needs to be fed all the time. Okay. That is okay to feel like that. That's fine. But if you're saying you don't like marketing, you need to work out what is going on underneath that, because often it's a fear of visibility. And I want you to think about, how does that feel for you in your business? And often this is comes back to that hiding our brilliance, is that, oh, I don't want people to think I'm showing off and I'm talking about me all the time and look how great I am, look what I'm doing. Um, these feelings and these mindset things will hold us back every day of the week. So if these are bringing up things for you, I really want you to think about that. So here is your mindset shift for when you say you don't like marketing. Marketing isn't shouting, it's shining. I'm here to be the lighthouse, not the loud speaker. Okay, so I really want you to think about that. All right. Number 10, the last reason why I think you are not getting the sales that you deserve in your business is that you're waiting to feel ready before you show up and sell. Okay. Now, this is so, so true. And it's so fascinating. Oh my gosh, the stories that we tell ourselves when it comes to feeling like we're ready. Um, I do hope Jenny's listening to this podcast, because I'm going to shout out to her again. When I finished my master's, I got accepted to do my PhD. And she kind of said to me in a beautiful, loving way, when was I going to have enough qualifications to be a marketing expert? And I am a really guilty consumer of learning. I love learning. I love having my degrees. I enjoy that rigor of academia. I also love buying online courses and learning. But was it holding me back from doing the things that I need to do? Very much so, because I felt like I wasn't enough to do the things that I would do. And what was really frustrating is that I would go onto social media and I'll be really frank, I'd just see some idiot talking about social media or talking about marketing. And I was like, well, who are they? And you go and look and they're like, got no qualifications, no background, no industry experience, all the things that I had, and they were doing it anyway. And I was like, well, why aren't I ready? What is holding me back? And I actually had to do a fair bit of mindset work to think about, what is it that's stopping me from going out there and putting myself out there? And I will just say, one of the mindset shifts that I shared with you, which I really like, that I think is really, really key, and I'm scrolling through my notes, I'm just going to come back to you, is being on someone's journey. Sorry. I am the guide, not the hero. My job is to light the path, not steal the spotlight. Now, I've had that on my desk as a little like a little affirmation, because I am the guide and I'm not the hero, and my job is to light the path, and I am great at that. Okay. And that's what my genius is to helping you work out the way. My job is to help unclutter your brain and to help you work out how to move forward with your business. That is my absolute zone of genius. It has nothing to do with marketing, will I just say. But I was holding myself back because I think that there's going to be a magical moment that I'm going to feel like 100% confident. Like, I'm going to go out in the world and I'm prepared and I'm perfect and I'm all of those things. And I realized that the confidence doesn't come before the action. It is built into the action. So once you take a step and you say to people, like, I used to be, I was always in marketing in my career, marketing and comms. And then when I started my business, I was in social media, which kind of looked like marketing, but just in a different way. And then a few years ago, I rebranded myself to a digital marketing coach and business mentor. And there was a little bit of imposter syndrome going, and I'm like, but I'm okay with that, because I've been mentoring businesses for years and I've been working in digital marketing for years. And I'm definitely have enough skill that I can help someone on their journey. I can light the path. So I realized that those titles sit really comfortably with me, not because I had some mindset shift, but I just kept doing it. I kept showing up, and the action of me being there, showing up and doing that thing gave me the confidence to say, I'm a business mentor and a digital marketing coach. That is what I do. So I want you to think about, how does this land for you? And I truly hope that by listening to my story, I'm certain a lot of you listening to this look at me and think that I am way ahead in my journey to you, which I possibly am, and that I would have buckets of confidence to step through and do absolutely anything. And I want you to know I still have moments of feeling like I'm struggling with imposter syndrome. I look at other people online and go, why are they doing so well? And why am I not doing as well as they are? Why are they doing like 7-figure months? How do you do that? Like all those crazy things that get in the way. So don't feel like you ever get to a point when you're 100% confident, prepared, perfect, all of those things. I want you to take action and know that the confidence will follow. I promise. So here is your mindset shift. I don't wait for permission from my fears. I create momentum by moving, messy and all. Okay. So taking that imperfect action. So I really want you to feel inspired by that. And I'm going to give you a quick little snapshot of the 10 points because I'm aware that I covered it over 2 podcast episodes. So here are the things that I want you to think about. Step 1, are you hiding your brilliance instead of celebrating it? I want you to think of selling as empowerment. Number 2, thinking mentioning something and offer once is enough. So every time you share it is a new opportunity. Number 3, talking about yourself instead of your client. Be the guide, not the hero. Number 4, a sales page that doesn't convert. And the mindset shift is write a love letter to their future self. Number 5, choosing nice over powerful. Impact matters more than approval. Number 6, you are giving up too soon. So remember your mindset shift is to hold the vision longer than the doubt. Number 7, you are not creating any urgency or decision triggers. And remember, urgency creates a kindness to help them make the decision they were going to make anyway. Number 8 is believing that selling is scammy or gross or insert any other word. Remember that selling is an invitation, not an imposition. Number 9, saying that you hate marketing. Remember, marketing is about shining, not about shouting. And number 10 is waiting to feel ready. So confidence is created, not waited for. So I hope that those 10 things that are reasons why you are not getting the sales that you deserve in your business have really allowed you to think and reflect on some of your mindset and some practical things as well. But what I really want you to do is sit quietly with all of these. And I want you to ask yourself, when I spoke them, what did you feel and what came up for you? Like, what was the thing that's like, oh, that's me? So are you the one that's waiting to feel ready? Are you don't like marketing? You tell yourself that all the time, so you don't want to do it. Which of those ones really landed for you? Remember to go and look at the show notes. Maybe use some of these as journal prompts. I think it would be incredibly helpful to help you work on some of your mindset things. And it is my sincere hope that after listening to these 2 episodes, you're going to have a little breakthrough. You're going to hit on something and go, oh, that is definitely me. I'm doing that. Why am I doing that? And I want you to dig in and find out what's going on. And I really hope that it's going to allow you to move forward in your business. It's going to give you a bit of clarity and confidence that you are allowed to go out there and sell. And I want to give you permission to do that, and that to be outrageously successful women in business, we have to be able to sell. So I'm wishing you all the best with the little mindset journey that I have just taken you on. I hope you've enjoyed the last 2 episodes. Remember to go and check out the show notes for all of those mindset shifts that I have given you. And until next week, I will catch you. I catch you the same time every week on the Social Circus. Thank you, my lovely listener, for tuning in this week.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the Social Circus. As your host, Sarah Thompson, I am thrilled that you've chosen to spend your time hanging out with me. I would be so grateful if you could spare an extra moment to go and leave me a review on your favorite podcasting platform. And if you even felt more excited, you could share my podcast with your friends who you think would get great value from it. Thanks so much again for tuning in.